Hello students. Today's topic, torque on a current loop magnetic dipole. We have already studied about torque in system of particles. You all had learned the example of a door. I hope you all remember it. When we apply force to the handle of the door, there will be a rotation that is taking place at the hinges. That was your moment of force or torque that you all had studied. There is another example. Spanner is one such example similar to your door. You are applying a force on the handle to tighten or loosen the knob. So here the force applied will be perpendicular to the displacement or distance from the rotation of the knob. So formula is already learned. Torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Here the perpendicular distance is your length L. So torque becomes F into L. The SI unit is Newton meter. Usually when we apply force to an object, the displacement takes place in a straight line motion. Okay, or the change of position is always along the straight line whenever a force is applied to the object. But when you use the word torque, torque is always referred to a turning effect. So whenever the force is applied to an object and when you specify that it has torque that is being experienced, so there you have to remember that that torque gives rise to a turning effect due to the force applied on the object. In the concept of torque due to a current loop, you will see that there will be two forces acting on the loop. First force is your coupled forces. Coupled forces means two forces. Usually in the example of door and spanner, you saw that there was only one force acting at the handle which gave rise to torque. But when you come to this, there is coupled forces. Coupled forces means two forces will be acting. In coupled forces, you must remember both the forces will have same magnitude, but they will be opposite in direction. Only then there will be a turning effect or torque will be produced. Example is your steering wheel. Okay, there will be equal and opposite forces acting to give rise to a torque. Another example here is your water bottle. When you're removing your cap of the bottle, you usually rotate it. So if there is equal and opposite force acting on it, only then there is rotation. Otherwise you will have to force it open. Okay, this is one type of a force. Another force is collinear force. This collinear force actually acts along the same line. Here the net force will be zero. It has to be zero or the forces cancel out on either sides. Here the force acting on the right hand side and the force acting on the left hand side, if it is equal, it will always cancel out and the net force will become zero. So most of the time collinear forces will cancel out, giving no force along the line. Okay, so if I just have to represent this on a rectangular loop, it will be this way. So there is a loop A, B, C, D. Okay, and there is an axis. The dotted line what you all are seeing is the axis of the loop, and along the axis, that is the line, okay, where the force is acting, collinear force will be acting along that line. One force is acting upwards on side BC, another force is acting downwards on side AD. So that along the dotted line, what forces you all can see represented in red color arrow marks, they are called collinear forces and they will cancel out. The other forces are F1 and F2 that you can see. F1 and F2 are the coupled forces which has to be equal and they are in opposite direction. One is facing you, one is facing the other side, which means the rectangle can rotate. The rectangle will help in rotational motion. Consider a rectangular loop carrying current. Place that rectangular loop in a uniform magnetic field. When you place it, that is when the loop experiences both coupled forces and collinear forces to give rise to a torque on the loop. That is what we have written here. A rectangular loop carrying a steady current placed in a uniform magnetic field experiences a torque. This torque can be clockwise or anti-clockwise depending on the direction of current flow in the loop. Now, using our Fleming's left hand rule, we can find out the force acting on the loop. As we said, collinear forces cancel out, but there will be coupled forces which is giving rise to the rotating effect. So this force can be found out using our Fleming's left hand rule. For that, we have two cases that has to be studied. First, now let us see this. Case 1, when current loop is along the magnetic field. So this is how it looks when the loop is placed along the magnetic field. ABCD is connected to a battery with the help of brushes, and that battery will produce current, and the current is passing from A to B, B to C, C to D and coming back. So there is current in the loop, and this loop is placed between the poles of the magnets, north and south pole of the magnet, to give a uniform magnetic field to the coil. Let L be the length of the loop and B be the breadth of the loop. Okay, so we will see what happens when we place the coil in such a way along the magnetic field. Okay, so this is what we have done. Now, as we told, looking at the diagram, you all can see that for BC and AD, there will be collinear forces acting, and therefore net force will be equal to 0. We already know that there is collinear forces acting on BC and AD, hence there is no net force acting on those two sides. The only two sides remaining is AB and CD. So if you look at the diagram at the bottom, you can see that magnetic field lines makes 90 degree with the side AB and also with the side CD. Therefore, using the formula for force, which is BIL sine theta, we can find out what is the force acting on AB and what is the force acting on CD. So here the arms AB and CD will experience a force. That force is given by left hand Fleming rule, which is BIL sine theta, and F1 is the force acting on AB. Since angle made by the side AB is 90 degree with the magnetic field, we will take sine theta as sine 90. So F1 is equal to BIL sine 90, which is equal to 90 degree means sine 90 will be equal to 1. Therefore, F1 will be BIL. This will be the same case with our CD. So the same force will be acting on CD as well, because we told they are same magnitude. So F2 will also be equal to BIL because they also have the angle made with the magnetic field equal to 90 degree. Okay, so both of them will have the same magnitude. F1 will be equal to F2. There is a torque due to those two pair of forces F1 and F2. So the forces F1 and F2 give rise to a rotation in an anti-clockwise direction for the coil. So that is what we have written here. Torque on the loop tends to rotate the coil in anti-clockwise direction. We have to find out what that torque is. Formula we already know. Tau is equal to force into perpendicular distance. Now, if I assume that I am looking at the complete setup from the front face, okay, then I'll be able to see only the side BC and I will have force F1 and F2 making the coil to rotate, and the distance between those two forces is given as B, or that is the breadth of the coil. So if I substitute this, I will have tau is equal to force that we calculated is either one force, both are the same, F1 also same, F2 is also same, so any one force. So force F1 into that perpendicular distance is distance between the forces F1 and F2, that is given as B. Now torque is equal to, substituting for force BIL into small letter b, I will be getting BI into LB. Length into breadth is what? Area. So I will just substitute that in the equation here. So torque becomes BIA. So this is the equation for torque when the loop is along the magnetic field. Case 2, when the current loop makes an angle theta with the magnetic field. So we are considering a loop which is making an angle theta with the magnetic field. So the diagram is as shown here. The forces acting on BC and AD are again collinear forces which will cancel out. The only forces remaining will be on the sides of the loop AB and CD. And these two forces F1 and F2 will still remain the same as in the previous case, because they are making an angle 90 degree with the magnetic field again in the second case. Forces on arms AB and CD are F1 and F2. This is same as the first case because both the arms are again perpendicular to the magnetic field. Therefore, F1 is equal to F2, which is equal to BIL sin theta. Theta is 90 degree. Therefore, both the forces will be equal to BIL since sin 90 is equal to 1. These two forces give rise to a torque. So, torque is equal to force into perpendicular distance. In the first case, the perpendicular distance was just BC. But when you come here, since it has been tilted by an angle theta, we consider a small triangle there as shown in the figure, BCA' as the triangle, and theta is the angle between BC and the magnetic field. Okay, BC is the loop and magnetic field I have not shown here, so it makes an angle theta. Now considering this triangle BCA', we will find out what is the distance A'(C). Therefore, from triangle BCA', we can find out sin theta. Sin theta is nothing but opposite divided by hypotenuse. Opposite is A'(C) divided by hypotenuse is BC. Therefore, BC is given as small letter b. So just substitute it there and we will get our perpendicular distance A'(C), which is equal to B sin theta. Therefore, torque is equal to force into A'(C), that is our shift that has happened due to the rotation of the coil. Then we have tau is equal to BIL into B sin theta. Substitute L into B as your area. So torque is equal to IAB sin theta. Now I into A is nothing but magnetic moment of the current loop, which is represented as small letter m. So small letter m is equal to I into A. The unit is I value is current. So current's SI unit is ampere. Area's SI unit is meter square. Therefore, magnetic moment is ampere meter square SI unit. If there are n number of loops or if there are n number of turns in that coil, then the expression for magnetic moment M will be NIA, because n number of turns into I into A. And our torque equation becomes NIAB sin theta if there are n number of turns in the coil. Just substitute for M we will get torque is equal to mb sine theta. Writing it in terms of vectors, tau is equal to m cross b. So this is the equation for torque on a current loop. Okay, this is a 2-mark question. They will ask only the expression and ask you to name the terms in the expression, or they can ask you the conditions. What are the conditions? If theta is equal to 0, what happens to the torque? If theta is 90 degree, what happens to the torque? Okay, so here we can see that if theta is 0, sine 0 is 0, therefore torque becomes 0. If theta is 90 degree, sine 90 becomes 1, therefore torque is maximum. They will tell you if the angle between the magnetic moment and magnetic field is 0, what is the value of torque? Okay, the question will be somewhat similar to it, but in this concept, that is torque on a current loop, they will ask you only the expression and these two conditions for the exam point of view. Okay. Yes. Magnetic dipole moment is directly proportional to the current and the area. We have already seen this. M or mu it is represented as. So they are proportional to current and area. According to this also you may get 1 markers. If area is increased, what will happen to the dipole moment? If current is increased, what will happen to the dipole moment? Okay, you must be able to tell that relation is directly proportional. Therefore, if current or the area increases, dipole moment also increases. This is a concept which can come for only numericals, okay, and there's no derivation as such. You don't have to remember it, but for numericals, formulas you'll have to remember. Circular current loop as a magnetic dipole. So here we have already studied the circular loop equation, correct? B is equal to mu naught by 2 I r square divided by x square plus r square whole power 3 by 2. This was the equation from circular loop. So for this we will be applying few conditions and getting an expression. Condition is if x is very much greater than r, only then the following steps will be followed. R square in the denominator is neglected since x is taken very much greater than r. Therefore, equation becomes b is equal to mu naught I r square divided by 2 x square whole power 3 by 2. Here 2 and 2 cancels out and what remains is b is equal to mu naught by 2 I r square by x cube. We need magnetic moment m in the equation. Therefore, we will be substituting area as pi r square. From this equation, r square is taken as a divided by pi. Substitute this r square in the above equation. We will get b is equal to mu naught ia divided by 2 pi x cube. And just substitute m instead of I into a. So b is equal to mu naught m divided by 2 pi x cube. This is the equation for magnetic field that you can use in the numericals. Okay, if you multiply and divide by 2, you will just get b is equal to mu naught 2m divided by 4 pi x cube, or mu naught by 4 pi into 2m divided by x cube. This is for a complete loop. If I cut the loop directly into half, that is along the axis, okay, then it is called as a bisector. So magnetic bisector will have a formula b is equal to b by 2. That is, coming back to the equation before you multiply and divide the equation by 2. You have b is equal to mu naught m by 2 pi x cube. That is the equation for a bisector. Okay, so these few steps that you all have studied is only coming in the numericals. Okay, so nothing else. You don't have to by heart this equation or study this equation for exam. Next, numericals. We will be using the formula for torque on the current loop. Tau is equal to NIAB sine theta. First question. A square coil of side 10 cm consists of 20 turns and carries a current of 12 ampere. The coil is suspended vertically and the normal to the plane of the coil makes an angle 30 degree with the direction of uniform horizontal magnetic field of magnitude 0.80 Tesla. What is the magnitude of torque experienced by the coil? Let us see what is given to us. Number of turns is 20. Current passing through that is 12 ampere. We have to know a few conversions. 1 meter is 100 centimeter. If I square it on both sides, I'll have 1 meter square as 100 square centimeter square. Therefore, 1 centimeter square will be equal to 1 divided by 100 square meter square. This you have to remember because we will be using this in the numerical here. So we have to find out the area of the coil. Area of the coil is a square. So square will be side square. Area is equal to side square, which is 10 square centimeter square. That is equal to 10 square divided by 100 square meter square. If you calculate area, you will get it as 0.01 meter square. So you are just converting 10 square centimeter square into meter square. So this is the conversion that you have been doing. Magnetic field is given as 0.80. Angle is given 30 degree. So you have to find out torque. Torque is nothing but NIAB sin theta. Just substitute the values. N is 20, I is 12, A is 0.01, B is 0.8, sin 30 degree. So you will have torque as 0.96 Newton meter. Sin 30 is 0.5. Okay, just substitute that and get the equation for torque, or the value for torque is 0.96 Newton meter. Next question. A 100 turn rectangular coil of length 0.4 meter and breadth 0.2 meter carries a current of 10 ampere. It is placed in a uniform magnetic field of 5 Tesla. If the coil experiences a torque of 200 Newton meter, what is the angle made by the coil with the field? Given 100 is the number of turns in the rectangular coil. This is a rectangle, so area should be length into breadth, that is given to you. Okay, current is 10 ampere, area is length into breadth. Length is 0.4 meter, breadth is 0.2 meter. If you calculate, area is going to be 0.08 meter square. Magnetic field is given as 5 Tesla. Torque is given as 200 Newton meter. You have to find out sin theta, and again you have to tell what is the value of theta. So you have the formula torque is equal to NIAB sin theta. Substitute. Sin theta is equal to torque divided by NIAB. So sin theta is equal to 200 value of torque divided by 100 into 10 into 0.08 into 5. If you find out, you will get sin theta as 0.5. If sin theta is half, then the value of theta should be 30 degrees. This is for you to try. A current loop of area 20 into 10 power minus 4 meter square carrying current of 0.2 ampere is placed at an angle 60 degree with the magnetic field of strength 4 into 10 power minus 2 Tesla. Calculate the torque exerted on it. Here N is equal to 1 because they have told a current loop. Okay, they have given you area, so you don't have to find area as well. Find out and check whether you are getting the value as 1.39 10 power minus 5 Newton meter. Just try this yourself at home. Okay, thank you students.